Hello everyone! Welcome back to vBlox TV, where Roblox lovers play together. I'm Toto, and as you guys know, TV and I have also been playing TDS, but there hasn't been any updates for a while, and recently there is that new Frost Invasion event update, and we would like to show you how to beat this event very easily and effectively. So let's get into it. As you guys can tell, the entire lobby has been revamped, and now it's looking like an outdoor strip mall with all these arcade type of shops that you can hop in and see what's going on. Well, we're not sure about the function yet, but it's looking pretty awesome, isn't it? So here we are at the event map. The map is called Outpost 32, and before we get into the details of how to beat this map, we're gonna take a look at the general outline of the map. As you can see, the map is very interesting because there are 4 arrows pointing down to indicate that there are going to be 4 lanes of mob entering from the entrance there, and then at the bottom you have 2 exits and 2, which would be the 2, I want to say, right lanes that are going to be going towards the top, and then another 2 lanes that's going to be exiting towards the bottom exit there. So it looks pretty interesting and intense. So here is the pathing of what I would call the main path for this map, because on the other side where the left 2 lanes travel to the left side there and then exit towards the bottom, the final boss is going to travel that path. So we're going to be focused on this path here that is in the sphere, and we're going to be heavy with our defenses on this side instead. To successfully do these maps, you absolutely need to have turrets. Everyone must bring their own turrets, because we need a lot of heavy hitter, and then a combination of outlaws, minis, pursuit, and accelerators. Accelerators really awesome if you have them. If not, you can just figure out a different combination. However, the turrets are the must. And then as far as supporting units, you will need DJ, commanders, electroshockers, pyromancers, and or medics. So any combination of this will work. So you have to work within your team to figure out, because there are only 6 players per map, and I think you can actually get away with 5-ish, but we actually won with 1 person dropping through on one of our games. So I think 5 would be okay as well, so long as you have the right combination of the towers to place. So from the get-go here, I will be focusing on my DJ booth and trying to upgrade it as fast as I can. Usually I get to level 3 so that we can have that 10% discount, as well as all the range boost increase that we will have for all of the units. So here I'm putting my booth down to cover 2 of the pyromancers that I placed towards the front, and then someone else will have to focus on putting minis towards the little tail end to the right of the map there, or towards the back of the map there. As far as the units that I'm bringing would be my mini, DJ, turret, electroshocker, and the pursuits. With these early waves, depending on what the teammates are placing down, the team may or may not take a couple of hits to the health, but it's nothing to fret over, because it's nothing that the medics cannot help with, or nothing that we cannot survive. So I'm just going to speed up the game a little bit so that we don't have to sit through every single play here, and reduce the time of the video for a little bit. So as new units are being placed, I shall let you know. So one of the very first tip that I have to give is place and stack your unit perfectly. So you don't want to spread your unit all over and randomly. What you want to do is stack them as close to each other or to an object as possible. So at the tail end of this island in the middle here, that is in between all the pathing, there's this tiny tail here. You definitely need to double stack 2 columns or 2 rows of units, if you will. So you have to place it as close towards the road as possible, because if you do not do this, you will not have enough DPS to cover the pathing of the mobs on both sides, and that is critical. So you see at the tail end there, kind of like towards the upper left corner of my DJ booth best sheet here that's spread in the middle, So you have a golden mini that's flush to the edge of one side of the tail, and then you have a pumpkin mini that's kind of sitting smack in the middle of nowhere. You would want to place your units as close to the edge as possible and not like that of the pumpkin mini. So the team continued to amass unit, and remember, upgrading is better than placing new units. And so teammates are already placing down turrets and also gold minis to get to level 2 at least to see invis. And I'm just focusing on getting my DJ up as fast as possible to help out with the cost and increase the range of those units. There are only 20 waves in these events, and so I don't feel like the first 19 waves are that difficult to get through, but it's the last wave with the boss with the 100k health that poses a little bit of a challenge. But it shouldn't be that difficult if you're actually heavy with turrets and all the other heavy hitters from the list of units that I provided earlier. If everyone were to bring rangers, it will not work because there's just not enough space. So you have to work out with your team as far as who's to bring what, but for a fact, everyone must be bringing turrets. So I upgraded my DJ up to level 3, and then I'm starting. Well, no, actually, I upgraded all the way to level 5. Then I placed down my electroshocker. Now the electroshocker usually doesn't work on boss, but on the boss that's here in this event, it does work. So remember to space out your electroshocker too so that it can optimize coverage of the path. After that, I'm just starting to save for my turret and upgrade it as best as possible. Somewhere in between, I'm going to interlace it with another electroshocker, but it's towards the other side by the main path. And so I had an electroshocker sort of to the upper left corner of the island, and then my other electroshocker just placed just now. Unfortunately, it is out of DJ's range, so I ended up selling it and placing it somewhere else. And all the while, my first 2 units would be turrets and electroshockers. DJ, I don't really consider him as a unit because he doesn't really produce any DPS, and I am an aggressive player. So as I said, try to place your unit as close to the previously built units or edges as possible. So units like built as close to the mountain first would be ideal, because once you play the cliff unit up there, it's difficult to put your unit in place and you would lose that space below. In addition, once the cliff unit is placed, sometimes it's difficult to even click to select the unit below that. And I think in this game, TV had a difficult time locating and selecting to upgrade his turret. That's kind of like on the backside of the mountain there. So that unit was just left where it was and it couldn't be upgraded. And remember, helipad can actually link up to each other. Pretty much the dots kind of overlap each other a little bit, so actually place them really, really close and really tight, because that's really going to help with the saving the spaces within the DJ range, and it's going to help the team out. A lot of players are a little bit oblivious to this, and so be mindful of that and make sure that your team can win consistently. So for this game, I kind of placed the DJ on the right side of the island, or the left side of the island a little bit, but I can also place it on the right side of the island or the right side of the mountain range here on the other side of the lake, and that would work as well. And then commanders, I guess you will have to figure out where you wanna place your commander so that it can activate and boost the most units, because your commanders kind of need to be in the middle of all the heavy hitters as well. That goes without saying, and you will only need 3 commanders total for any group of heavy DPS. And there's here another commander for the group of rangers towards the back there. We could have used another DJ, but in this game we did not. And you see how there's a lot of turrets. It's just like turret camps everywhere shooting towards this right side of the map, and you can tell that it's really heavy on the side. And because the turrets are longer range, and then with the boost of the DJ, it really covers the other side of the pathing too. So you don't really need to focus and build a lot of units on the left side. And this is actually, I believe, is the 4th attempt that we are doing to beat this event, because all the previous time we're kind of trying to balance out between the 2 paths, not realizing that the final boss is gonna travel to the right side of the path. So you get that tip already, so you'll be able to do this quite easily. The other thing you need to be mindful of is the range of your DPS or your towers. As soon as the boss move out of the range of your towers towards the front there, move them towards the back, and also try to build your units as far front as possible so that after the boss has actually gone out of range, then you can sell those units and move it back, so you can actually kind of cycle them through a little bit, so have more guns gunning for the boss as he is coming down the road. And here we are finishing up the frost spirit that has froze the land over, bringing back the greenery and life back to this wonderful island. Along with that, we got shards and a new Sledger unit along with a badge. Thanks everyone for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and like our video so that other mates find it a little bit faster. Help our channel a little bit. I really appreciate it. Alright, do take care, and I'll see you next time. Meanwhile, stay safe, stay home, and play Roblox with us.